Well, now we have to try to compose a melody using only the three different notes we know very well now. So the chord tones, the passing tones, and the auxiliary tones. Before we start to compose this melody, we have to say something. First of all, we are going to change our key, so we are not using, we no longer will, we will no longer use the C major key, but now in this example we're going to use the F major key. It is very important to start from the beginning, to change very often the tonality in which we are going to work, to compose. So we have to make it a habit, we can say. So we have to change, to use different keys. Then we're going to use a very simple rhythm, and then we're going to use only the main chords of the F major key. Please let me remind you that in the F major scale we have the B flat. So in the F major key we have the B flat in key signature. So let's see now the sequence of chords that we are going to use in this example. The sequence of chords will be as follows. Will be the following. So first of all, we're going to use the first degree, the chord built on the first degree of the F major key, so the F major chord, then the C major chord, which is of course the fifth degree, then the G minor chord, which is the second degree. Then we're going to use the fourth degree, which is the B flat major chord. Then again we are going to go, we go to the F major chord, then so the first degree, then the second degree, so G minor chord, then C major chord, which is the fifth degree, and then again on the F major chord, which so the first degree, the tonic, the chord built on the tonic. Okay, so they are very simple chords, of course, and however, we'll be able to compose an effective melody, even if we are going to use only these very simple chords. Okay, so now let's start from the first bar. We are going to start our melody using this note, which is a C note, and of course it is a chord tone of the F major chord. We are going to use, for the first bar, we are going to use some passing tones, and then we are going to we arrive on a chord tone, and then we're going to skip to another chord tone. So for example, we can compose something like this. I start from the C, then I move to the B flat, and then I arrive on the A, and then I skip again to the C, and then in correspondence of the new chord, so the C major chord, I skip again on the G note, which of course is a chord tone of the C major chord. So in this case we have a mix, a very balanced mix of passing tones and skips between the chord tones. So let's analyze these the first bars, the first two bars of this melody. We start from the C, which of course is a chord tone. Then we go to the B, we move to the B flat, a passing tone, then chord tone, then a skip to the same chord tone from which we started, and then I skip to another chord tone. Well, let's try now to play it in keeping. Let's try to play in time. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so it is very simple, but it is just effective. So up to now we have used the passing tones which give the melody a linear trend. So after these bars in which we use the passing tones, so a linear trend, we can use the auxiliary tone, and this allow us to have some change of direction, so something opposite we could say in the melody. So we arrive on the G note in correspondence of the C major chord, and then we're going, as we said before, we're going to use an auxiliary tone. So we move up to the A and then return to the G. So A is an auxiliary tone, and above auxiliary tone, and then of course I return to the G. In correspondence, after getting on the G, so in correspondence on the G, I change my chord. So I will play G. The first G, of course, is the chord tone of the C major chord. Then I go to the auxiliary tone. Then when I return to the G, I change my chord and I go to the second degree, so the G minor chord. Okay. This is very, I hope it is very, very clear, very simple, and it is very easy to compose such a kind of melody. So let's play it. Let's play now the first three bars rhythmically. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Okay. Now we have to focus on this. Even if we play twice the G, so we play the G on the downbeat of the second beat, but also on the downbeat of the third beat, we don't have something boring because we change the chord. So the fact that it is very important to highlight this aspect, because sometimes we think that if we use the same note on different downbeats of two bars very close each other, we have something boring, but it is not. This is not true, because if we have this G in correspondence of the C major chord, and then we go to this G in correspondence of the second degree, so the G minor chord, you can listen to it. It is very clear that we have two different situations, two different musical situations. And this fact is very important. So the fact that we change the chord using the same notes, let me have some variety. Let me achieve some variety. So up to now, of course, we have used passing tones, and then in the last bar we have used an auxiliary tone, which was a diatonic auxiliary tone. Yes, because of course I used a natural degree of the F major scale, since of course the A is the third degree of the F major scale, but we can use, to achieve some variety, to have some variety, we can use also some chromatic auxiliary tone. So I can think to go when I arrive on the G minor chord, I play the G note. Then I can go to the opposite direction than the previous auxiliary tone. So using the previous auxiliary tone, I was going up and then returning to the G, and then now I can use the auxiliary tone going down, so and above and below auxiliary tone. But of course, instead of using the F natural, as I said before, we can use an altered degree, so that we can have a chromatic auxiliary tone. So instead of playing G, F, G, in this case we can play G, F sharp, G. So to create more tension and also to introduce something new, such as an alteration, we can use, of course, an altered, a chromatic auxiliary tone. So it is very clear, I think, it is very clear if we listen to this, that there is a great difference between these two situations, the one without the alteration and this other one, which create a great tension. When I'm on the F sharp, I feel the need to resolve going up, returning up to the going a half tone higher, of course, and so returning to the G note. Okay, so now we can play from the beginning to listen to. We can listen to it. We have to listen to hear how it sounds, how these 3 bars sounds now. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Okay, it sounds good, of course. We up to now we only have used the main chords, only 3 chords of the F major key, and we have used only chord tones, passing tones, and auxiliary tones, so diatonic and chromatic auxiliary tones. So up to now we have used we have moved, we could say, by steps. We used many steps. We haven't used so many skills, so many skips from one chord to another. Only at the beginning of the song, of the piece. Just these 2 were some skips, but for the rest of the discomposing of this melody, I only have used some steps. I have moved using steps. So now we can achieve some variety using some skips. So after having used many steps, we can achieve some variety using some skips. So after this part, so when I go to G, F sharp, G, I can skip to the D note, which of course is a chord tone. So I skip from the G, which is a chord tone, to another chord tone, and then I skip to another chord tone of the G, of the B flat major chord. So it is very important, this aspect, that we have to highlight. We have to take a look at many different things: the use of passing tones, of auxiliary tones, but also the use of movements, of different movements by step, and to have some variety, to have some balance. We need to have some balance between steps and skips. So in this way I can have something balanced. Okay, so okay, and then after getting on the F note, I can use now 2 steps so to passing tones, because we use the passing tones only in the first bar, so we can have now again some linear trends and move down using these passing tones and arrive in this way to the chord tone of the new chord, which is of course an F major chord. So let's start from the previous bars. We have said that we go from the D to the F, which is a note, a chord tone of the B flat major chord. Then we use two passing tones, so E and D. And now, sorry, no, only this is a passing tone. This is a chord tone. So I go from this chord tone to this other chord tone, passing using this E note. So then I arrive to the C note, which is the note which is a chord tone of the F major chord. So let's play now all this melody starting from the beginning. 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1. Well, in the next video we are going to see how to go on, how to end, to compose the second part of the melody, so that we can have the complete melody, the whole melody, and so that we can listen to it and understand that it is, and see how we achieve some balance, some variety. So in the next video we are going to see how to compose the second part of this melody.